Hey, it's me. I'm just coming in here, checking in and letting you know that it is marketing week. If you're joining me on Facebook right now, I have a cat costume here going on. Some of you may not celebrate Halloween, and that's fine. It's not really something I celebrate either. But for the kids, whatever. You can put your feelings to the side. Um, so I'm a cat, and I don't even like cats. All right, so let's talk about what's going on. Marketing week will begin on this week. This week, um, today, Sunday, I've already started putting up some tips already in my stories. Before I even go into that, I'm watching NCIS Los Angeles right now. That's currently what I'm watching. And I plan on watching Married to Medicine because that's one of my favorite TV shows. And I don't know why I'm sharing this, but hey, since we're about to talk about stories, why not talk about my stories and myself and what I like and, see if there's some connection, if we like the same things. But about Marketing Week, I will be releasing some content on my Instagram page that is going to help my audience grow. Just teaching you the best marketing tips for the week. It's just my way of giving back. It's the end of the year. It's just a good way for me to give back to my audience, to my community, and showcase my expertise and a few things that I'm good at or know about besides my premium services. So, I want you to turn on your notifications or turn on my notifications. If you don't know how to do that, let me know. Turn on my notifications because, I will be putting content out there for Marketing Week either through my stories, it will either be through live video, it will either be through my news feed, it will either be YouTube, IGTV. The only way you'll know, because I won't announce it, the only way you'll know when content is released to help you grow your business that you need to implement, only way you'll know is if your notifications are turned on for me, so that way you can be notified when I post some new content, okay? So for today's topic, before I get back into my Sunday festivities, we're talking about Instagram stories and whether or not it's a good idea for you to repost other people's content in your stories. Now, this is debatable. And I will say this, what works for some people or what works for other entrepreneurs, other coaches, it may not work for you. All right. So to break this down, the answer is it really just depends. Now, my story for me, as a marketer, I really have to be careful about posting my clients in my stories, posting my prospects in my stories, posting other marketers, other brand strategists, other copywriters, other people who are similar in marketing. Like I really have to be careful about posting those types of influencers in my content. The reason why I have to be careful is because in a way, it can drive traffic away from my page, from my enterprise, from my brand. If I'm talking about another marketer or a branding strategist, someone who's similar in the realm of where I am in marketing, if I talk about them so much in my stories, or if I'm always constantly reposting their content in my stories, or even if I just do it one time or a couple times, it just drives that traffic away from my business. Like that's the relationship that I should build. And what happens is my audience may build a connection, a relationship with that person, go find out who they are, follow them, start looking at their stories for a while, looking at their newsfeed for a little while, and eventually may buy from them. Whereas I could have been nurturing them myself and they could have, bought from me. Or maybe they are a client who buys from me, but because I've put them on to other people, now I'm sending traffic to someone else who doesn't send traffic to me and who isn't paying me a commission fee or a referral fee to refer anyone. And not saying that anyone is putting anyone on, not to necessarily word it that way, but I mean, a recommendation, a referral is a referral. And when you're posting other people in your stories, you are giving them the platform to be in front of your audience. Now, it's okay when they're not your competition. And I know a lot of people like to say competition doesn't matter, don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. True marketers like me, that matters to us. Competition does matter. You don't obsess over it. You don't obsess over competition. You never do that. You have to be aware of it. It goes to the SWOT analysis, you know, your strengths, your weaknesses, threats, opportunities, etc. Like, you have to know who your threats are. And you just don't put your threats, even though you may like them. Like, I love some of these people. They are awesome. I buy from them. I learn from them. I read their content, watch their content, engage with them, speak to them, talk to them, comment on their pages. Like, I do all of those things. But still, it's not in my best interest to post those people in my stories. It's just, it doesn't make sense to do that. Now, so that's what I'm pretty much saying. Now, if you're reposting someone who they're not a threat to you, or you're collaborating together where they're exposing you to their audience and vice versa, then that's fine. It's an even exchange. It makes sense. It's intentional. And in my Make Money on Instagram ebook, I talk a lot about with your content being intentional. That goes for your stories. Like, we think there's no strategy behind our stories. And don't get me wrong, like, I've done a blog post where, you know, I've mentioned like posting other people's content, reposting their content in your stories when you run out of ideas. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying you have to be intentional and you have to be selective of what you post and who you're posting about in your stories. Because again, your goal is to keep the traffic on your stories. So let's say that I post a copywriter. Similar in marketing, even though copywriting, marketing is different, but marketing has like this huge umbrella, right? And then there's like a bunch of other things that fall under it, like copywriting, branding, designing, graphic designing, all types of things. Like, there's just so many things that fall under that umbrella of marketing. If I repost a copywriter in my stories, what will happen is it's a possibility that my viewers will tap on that post. Well, you know, in the stories, they will tap on it. When they tap on it, they might go to that person's page. And they may go to that person's page because now they want to repost it on their stories. Whereas if I would have just took that piece of content and rephrased it, put it in my own words, or if I would just create my own content, my audience would repost my content in their stories and put my content out there to their audience. And of course, more than likely, I'm not a threat to them, you know, because they're probably not in marketing and sales. You know, they may be in retail, they may be therapists, they may be in any type of industry, real estate, anything that's different from me. So it won't affect them at all. And honestly, it could be good for them because, you know, they're showing their audience like, hey, I have other resources or other recommendations, or it's good to get other tips, you know, and content from, you know, other people who are knowledgeable outside of yourself. You just want to make sure that you're not similar or in the same realm. And hopefully that's making a lot of sense. And if it's not, let me know in the comments so I can break it down a little more clearer for you. So it's taken me longer to get through this topic because there's pros and there's a lot of, you know, there's pros and cons to everything. And there's pros and cons to reposting other people's content in your story. So the next time you're thinking about reposting someone in your story, you need to think about the pro. You need to think about the cons. Is it aligned to your branding? Is it aligned to your identity, your core values? Is it aligned to your personality? Is it aligned to your tone, to your voice, or how you would normally speak to your audience? Like, does it resonate with you? Would it resonate with your audience? Or is it just kind of chaotic? Or are you just kind of posting it just to be posting it? You know, it just has to make sense. Everything has to be intentional. So the next time you decide to repost someone, just be intentional about it. So when I say that speaking for me, I'm no longer going to be posting other influencers in similar markets as me in my stories anymore. I plan to drop that down tremendously. And the only way I might post someone who's somewhat in a similar audience as me is maybe we do different things. We may have similar audiences where we're trying to attract the same people, but we're not exactly the same. Like, we do a lot of things differently from one another. So a great example, I love following someone, and this person primarily focuses on Instagram marketing. I focus on not just Instagram marketing, but just different types of social media platforms. Like, I really focus heavily on that messaging and that targeting part. And I kind of go deep with my clients there first, because no matter what platform you use, if your messaging and your targeting is off, nothing is really going to work very well for you. When you post on Instagram, when you post on Facebook, when you create that sales page, when you create that web page, none of it is going to work until you get to that phase first. So I typically like to work with clients on building trust, building emotional, deep relationships, knowing how to talk to their audience, knowing how to target the right people. And then we kind of talk about other things, you know, whether that's from a consultant standpoint or done-for-you service standpoint. So with this person, I don't necessarily feel like they're a threat to me, even though we're both in the marketing industry, because I feel like they specifically focus on certain things, and I feel like there's specific things in marketing that I focus on that maybe they don't. So this person has posted me in their stories plenty of times in their community, because I always show love and support. And just recently, a popular YouTuber basically kind of shouted me out in their YouTube video. It was a quick hot second, but that was still good, you know, publicity for me. And I was just being genuine, just being a genuine person, checking in on this person. And, you know, I got mentioned and featured quickly, but in their YouTube video, and they have a huge audience of over 350,000 subscribers, you know. But this person, again, they're in marketing, but they're more focused on a different field in marketing, you know, like a different market, such as YouTube. You know, like YouTube is their thing. So it works, you know, it definitely works. I'm not a YouTube person, you know, although I'm going to be getting into YouTube, but I'm not going to be really teaching it. I don't teach YouTube. This person does. So you get what I'm saying? Like, it works. You know, you only want to repost people who it has to make sense. You don't really want it to be someone who's your competition or a threat to your business. It's just not wise. It's just not a smart thing to do. And as I was saying before, some people find it like you're being lazy. You're basically being lazy by not creating your own content. And in some degree, because I've been lazy, I kind of agree. I kind of think that's what it is. Sometimes it's just lack of time or just being lazy, but it's just best to create your own content, as much of your own content as you can. So that way you can focus on building a relationship with your audience. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with reposting other people every now and then. But remember, when they tap on that other person's post, you're taking that traffic to someone else's page. And then when they go to that person's page, there's a 50-50 chance, a huge possibility that they're not going to come back to your page to finish off your stories where they're at. So again, I'm not discouraging you to not use stories, because again, it could be good. And it could definitely be good if you're reposting people and you're actually adding their name, like you're mentioning them using the Instagram sticker in the story section. If you're actually doing that and you're mentioning them and that's notifying them and they repost it to their audience, well, then that could be an advantage. Then that could be a win-win because they're exposing you to their audience and you expose them to yours. But when you're just posting content of other people that's just a threat to you and it just doesn't make sense. I mean, you're just sending your clients off somewhere else. You're just sending your prospects off somewhere else, making them kind of believe or feel that they should be maybe invested more in another person than they should be invested in buying your products and services. And not saying to be selfish or being stingy. I don't want it to come off that way, but it's just, you have to think about the best interest of your business and what's important for your business, not what's important for someone else's. And so it's really just important that you drive as much traffic to your own page, to your own, as much of it as you possibly can. For me, I'm considering, I really don't want to post my clients in my stories as much anymore because, I don't want other people. I'm great at what I do. My clients are going to always love me and most of them will always come back to me, and we'll work together and have a great relationship because we established a great relationship, right? That's key. However, it doesn't mean that I need to send my client list over into my stories for other people to try to reach out to them. A brand strategist that I really like, who I think is really good, she posted something about this on her page about how, how she would post some of her clients in her stories. And then some people were going behind her back, like other companies or her competition, they were going behind her back, reaching out to some of her clients about doing business with them. And then the loyal clients were coming back to her, letting her know. And it can make someone lose money. It can make someone lose money. It can make someone lose clients. It just depends. If you're really good at what you do, you probably won't lose your clients. But I'm here to promote my business on my page. So I may shout out clients. I may do things like that every now and then if I want to. And if some people are like, well, I don't see your testimonials or I don't see your client list, well, too bad. I'm not giving you my client list. So if you don't trust me, you just don't trust me. I have a ton of content. I have a podcast. I'll be starting my YouTube channel. You can go to my Instagram page. You can look at whatever you want to look at on my Instagram page. I have a blog post. I have a website. I have so much free content out there. And if that's not enough to compel you and to convict you and make you want to work with me, to help you elevate your business, to help you get your business to the next level, whatever the case is, then that's fine with me. I don't have a problem with that, but I don't feel that I'm in a position where I need to hand over my client list. And sometimes people aren't even your competition that wants your list. Sometimes it's people who just want your connections and your resources and want to pitch to your people. And so I don't know. I just feel like with Instagram stories, like now I kind of have different opinions about it in comparison to what I did before. And I just think for branding purposes, it's really good to post as much of your own content as possible. If you post content from other people, other influencers, just make sure they're not in your industry. Make sure they're not a threat to your business. That's important because you like I said, you want to keep that traffic on your page. And so if you see, like I said before, if you see content that you like, rephrase it, reword it, and go in Canva or somewhere or whatever you use and just create the content and put it in your stories. And that way your audience, they will start reposting your content and building a connection and a relationship with you because you want them to build a connection and a relationship with you. You want them to build trust, and them watching your stories helps to create that trust. Doing videos like this, posting content that they can relate to, whether it's motivational, inspirational. You know, people are really into that motivational, inspirational. They're into tips, but people definitely, they look for motivation and inspiration. Create it. Create it. If you're a business owner, you are a creator now. You are a creator, and it's your job to create the content that your audience needs, that you're an expert with, and whatever you can give them. You know, you definitely want to do that. So that's kind of my take on Instagram stories. And I guess I'll find another way to break it down a little better in a shorter amount of time. But that would be my suggestion, is when you decide to repost other people's content in your stories or in your newsfeed or on your page, you just need to make sure that it aligns to your brand, that it makes sense, and that it has purpose behind it, and that you're just not sending traffic to other people, especially other people who are your competition. You know, like for example, I have some clients where, like, for one, my lips, I really didn't put it on that good, but I have one Contrary. This is by Couture Cosmetics. Go check her out. I mean, we're not in the same industry. So I don't mind telling you where I got my lip gloss from. One of my amazing clients. Go check her out. You know, I may repost some of her content every now and then, you know. But again, we're in different industries. But just with your competition, just try not to do that, because, like I said, you'll be sending them business and you're not making a dime for it. And like I said, the ultimate goal is to build a relationship with your audience. So let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. I would love to hear it. I hope you enjoyed this marketing week. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure that you turn on your notifications. Make sure you go to Instagram. Make sure you're following me. Turn on your notifications for me, so that way you won't miss any of the content that I put out throughout this week. Like I said, it will be all over the place. From my stories, my feed, IGTV, it's going to be everywhere. So the only way you'll be able to find out what I'm putting out, what I'm doing, is that you have to turn those notifications on, and I will be bringing the best tips. So it's getting dark and I don't have any lights on right now, because I'm watching TV. I'm going to get back to my Sunday, my NCIS Los Angeles day, Married to Medicine. I don't know what else I may watch. I don't know yet. And I love this filter. This is cute. I'm using this again. I'll probably do another video. This is really cute. All right, I'll talk to you soon.